Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Juicy Bits marketing video. Today I want to talk about dealing with objections in the sales process. If you've done any sales at all, then you'll know that an objection is basically a reason in the buyer's mind that they don't want to move forward. It might be that they think the price is too high. It might be that they think the competition has a better product or service. Or it just may be that they don't really believe that your solution is right for them. Or it just may be that they don't like your product or service. And so this is what a salesperson has to do. It has to really listen to understand the objection that the buyer has, and then it basically has to educate the buyer on why that objection is actually immaterial or not really applicable in this situation. Maybe they're misinformed. Maybe they're looking at this the wrong way. So we all know what these are, whether we call them objections or not. They're the reasons that the customer isn't moving forward. So objections are actually quite easy to deal with if you've been trained. Because if you have a product or service that you're proud of, that you believe in, that has been differentiated, that you really believe is right for the customer, then our job as salespeople is to help that customer understand that and to prevent them from procrastinating and not making any decision at all, or even worse, going with one of our competition if that is not the right product or service for them. But what I want to talk about is dealing with the hardest objection of all. The hardest objection to overcome is the one that you don't know about. And so a lot of us in this sales process avoid the conflict. We're afraid if we bring something up that it's going to basically solidify it in the customer's mind and they're not going to want to move forward. Because we think that they may think the price is too high, but if we bring it up, we're afraid that we're going to remind them that the price is a little high and that they may back off. Or we may think that they're a little nervous about how long this is going to take and we're afraid to bring it up, when in reality what we should be doing is racing right to the conflict and explaining to them why it has to take so long. That if we were to take any shortcuts in the process, you wouldn't end up with the product or service that you hoped, or the outcome that you hoped, and you might have to do it all over again. Or you might have to live with something that's mediocre for the rest of the lifetime of that product. So the hardest objection to overcome is the one that you don't know about. And if you think back about the last 3 or 4 sales that you lost, I bet it's because of some objection that was never even brought up and you found out about it later, or you're still not sure why that customer didn't buy from you. Because if they would have brought it up, either it was true and you've got something to work on in your business, or they told you what it was and you were able to address it and basically kind of render that immaterial so that they could move forward with the buying decision. So my advice for you is to always be concerned about the objection that you don't know about. Use language when you're talking to the customer, when they stop asking questions. Use language like, is there any reason that you wouldn't want to move forward with this outcome or this solution? What are your biggest concerns about moving forward with us as a vendor? Or, can we get the paperwork started on this product today? When you ask questions like this, you're going to see some hesitation, and then you're going to be able to probe further and really start to understand what the problem is. And of course, when they bring up the objection, they may be tiptoeing around the real reason because they don't want to address it. That's something that the consumers do. So when they present an objection to you, say, that's great. If I were to show you how you could afford this, would you be willing to move forward today? Right? You're isolating the objection, and then that was going to force them to either say yes or, well, no, I've got 3 or 4 other problems. And perhaps the main objection they brought up is not really even that much of a concern for them. It's actually something totally different, such as, I'm afraid that I don't really want this, or when I leave here, I'm afraid I'm going to find it for half the price somewhere else. So once you have identified that objection, they bring it up, simply say, if I were able to show you that that wouldn't be a problem, is there any other reason that you want to move forward? It's one of your best questions in selling. It's going to force them to either tell you what the problem is, or if you're face-to-face, you're going to be able to read their body language pretty fast, and they're either going to say, yeah, that's the real issue, or they're going to stall or hesitate, and you're going to know there's bigger problems. So avoid the most dangerous objection of all, the one that you don't know.